Shavua Tov, everyone. Welcome to Tell Stories for Saturday night. The title of this week's video is 3 Friday Night Dances, 3 Saturday Night Blessings. I excerpted, modified, and supplemented it from a translation by Rabbi Aaron Loshach for Chabad.org of a story that was in the book Hamashpia about Mendel Futerfas. My rendition of his story is dedicated by 2 of the 3 founding couples of Ascent in Tzfat, Leiter and Tillis, in honor and fond memory of a major influence on our lives and on the spirit of Ascent, Rabbi Meir Nisim ben Mas'od Abasera, on the occasion of his 12th Yortzeit, an annual Solivation that starts tonight, Saturday night and Sunday, the 8th of Sivan. More about him after the story. Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov and one of his main followers, Rabbi Zev Wolf of Kitzis, were traveling together to spend Shabbat in the Mogilev region. Rabbi Leib, a wealthy local, opposed the Baal Shem Tov's revolutionary approach. But on the other hand, he was a hospitable man and offered to host the guests. He had room for only one, though. So he took Rabbi Wolf. I'm pronouncing it Wolf because really in Yiddish as well as in Hebrew there's no W sound, so it's pronounced with a V. Anyway, thus Wolf, he invited Wolf to his own home and arranged for the Baal Shem Tov to stay with a friend of his, Reb Shammai, also a well-to-do person. Rabbi Yisrael ben Eliezer, the Baal Shem Tov, was born in the world on the 18th of the Jewish month of Elul in 1698 and departed from it on the 6th of Sivan, 1760. 6th of Sivan is the holiday of Shavuot, which we celebrated yesterday on the 6th of Sivan. A unique and seminal figure in Jewish history, he revealed his identity as an exceptionally holy person on his 36th birthday, the 18th of Elul, 1734, and made the until then underground Hasidic movement public. He wrote no books, although many works claim to contain his teachings. One available in English is the excellent annotated translation of Tzivat HaRivash, published by Kehot, K-E-H-O-T. Rabbi Zev Wolf Kitzis, who departed for heaven on the 12th of Mar Cheshvan in 1788, served as rabbi of the Jewish community in Tolchen, and later held the position of Av Beis Din, chief rabbinical judge in the town of Mezibuzh, the town famous for being the residence of the Baal Shem Tov during most of his career. But this was even before the town had become the founding center of the Baal Shem Tov's Hasidic movement. And when the Baal Shem Tov moved there, Wolf's initial reaction was one of great opposition, although after a short while he became one of his greatest followers. Rabbi Zev Wolf Kitzis was well known to be a scholar at the highest level, Torah scholar, and extremely meticulous in all areas of mitzvah observance. He is buried in Mezibuzh, immediately to the right of the Baal Shem Tov. On their way home from shul, Shammai, who was hosting the Baal Shem Tov, turned to him and said, "I want you to know that I eat the Shabbat meal together with my wife at the table. I hope you don't mind, but if not, please let me know, and you are welcome to find somewhere else to eat." This is something that's not so common today, and the complete gender separation at the Shabbos table, but it was much more prevalent in the 18th and 19th centuries in Europe. In any case, the Baal Shem Tov said, ahead of his time maybe, said, "No, that's fine," replied the saintly Baal Shem Tov. And so they made the traditional blessings for the Shabbos Eve and started their meal. Shammai, the Baal Shem Tov's host, enjoyed honoring the Shabbat with many dishes and delicacies, taking his time to host a hearty and lengthy meal. Meanwhile, Rav Wolf's Shabbat dinner with Rab Leib had ended, so he decided to join up with his teacher. He entered Shammai's home and saw that the dinner was far from completed. As they ate together, the Baal Shem Tov turned to his host, Shammai, and said, "I have a personal custom to dance during Shabbat dinner, so I would like to know if it's all right with you to dance now." "Is it Simchas Torah today?" laughed Shammai. Why are you asking about dancing now? Now's not the time for that. It's Shabbat. But the Baal Shem Tov persisted, and his host eventually agreed. The Baal Shem Tov rose from his seat, grabbed Rav Wolf's hands, and the duo started dancing together, right there in the dining room on a regular Shabbat night. Shammai and his wife couldn't help but laugh at the strange sight. Much to his surprise, however, after watching the fervor and passion with which they danced, Shammai couldn't help feeling a bit of a twitch. He started fidgeting in his seat, snapping his fingers, and tapping his feet to the beat, all the while looking over his shoulder at his wife, a little bit embarrassed. Soon Shammai could no longer contain himself, and he jumped out of his chair to join the dancing. Shammai's wife got swept up in the fervor, and she too danced along in her seat. At last, the dance was over, and they too sat down to conclude the meal. And the Baal Shem Tov and his disciple went off to sleep. What just happened? Shammai asked his wife. What came over us to dance like a pair of crazies? Who was this man and his student that Melaveh sent us? They were full of wonder. I mean, a lack of understanding. The next day, the same scenario repeated itself, both at the morning and the afternoon Shabbat meals. The Baal Shem Tov wouldn't take no for an answer, and before long, Shammai was dancing along with the Rebbe and his follower, and his chassid, Reb Wolf. It was then that it dawned upon him that there must be more to this man. He must be a holy person, Shammai thought. I sense something special in these dances. His suspicions were confirmed at the third Shabbat meal, when the dancing reached an entirely different level. A spiritual ecstasy came over the entire group as their feet were swept off the floor. The Baal Shem Tov's face aflame with a fiery, holy glow. Shammai now knew for certain that his guest was a very holy man indeed. When the flame of the Havdalah candle marking the end of Shabbat had been extinguished and the Shabbat queen escorted on her way, Shammai turned to the Baal Shem Tov. I see that you are a holy man, Rebbe. Please tell me what you need. How can I help you? Perhaps you need some money? I don't need any of your money, replied the Baal Shem Tov, but please, can you host a Melaveh Malka as a Saturday night meal, sit-down meal for me? Of course, it would be my honor. Bless me, holy Rebbe, added Shammai, as they sat together partaking of the Melaveh Malka. The Baal Shem Tov responded, I can bless you with one of three things: long life, wealth, or an upstanding family, upstanding descendants. Shammai was a wise man, so he replied, Rebbe, please grant me all three. And so it was. Shammai lived until a ripe old age, nearly 100 years, amid much wealth, and merited to bear generations of upright, devout Jews. Now, as I mentioned, this story is dedicated in honor of the Yortzeit of Meir Abba, or as the Lubavitcher Rebbe would refer to him, Dr. Abba Kotzera. And I'm sure that all the followers and fans of Meir Abba already know why I chose this particular story. Because he too had the power in his dancing to influence people's neshamas, influence people in the deepest level of their special Jewish soul. May his memory be for a blessing. May he have his soul elevation and take along with him, elevate all those, all of us who are connected to him or are connected to him. And this should be a great week for everybody. Shavua Tov u'Mevorach.